Welcome to Purposive Communication. This lesson is prepared and created by Ms. Raymond Zaira M. Fernandez, a faculty of the Department of Languages and Literature, College of Arts and Sciences, Central Mindanao University. We are now at Unit 2. In this unit, we will talk about communication and globalization. Specifically, we will learn about the following concepts: cultural issues affecting communication, global issues affecting communication, impact of global communication on society, impact of global communication in the world. Objectives: at the end of the lesson, the learners must have performed the following with 85% accuracy: delineated the cultural issues affecting communication, elaborated global issues that affect communication, discuss the impact of global communication on society, and discuss the impact of global communication in the world. Let us start. The world has become small because of the people's wide accessibility of information at all times from all directions of the globe. The data travels as fast as light rays in a click of a mouse. Cultural issues affecting communication. Culture and context affect how we perceive and define communication. Let us take a look at the following cultures. Western culture values the senders and the content more than the receivers and the context. These values are reflected in their definition and models of communication. The countries with an individualistic cultural orientation like United States put emphasis on individual expression and success, while those with collectivistic cultural orientation focus on group cohesion and harmony. Success in intercultural communication requires one to have an acceptable level of proficiency of the target language, factual knowledge of the target culture, and familiar with the process of acculturation and mediation between cultures. This concept means that a successful interaction entails learning the language and culture of the target audience. With the advent of modern technology and web applications, intercultural communication is easily carried out between communicators with the purpose of achieving a common goal, which can be done through instant messaging, chatting, and the use of any other social media applications. Whether formal or informal, intercultural communication involves oral, written, or nonverbal forms. Interpersonal communication is greatly influenced by the culture of the communicators involved, which is evident in their unique way of expressing themselves depending on their background knowledge, belief, worldview, and practices. There are also cultural nuances and nonverbal cues with diverse meanings depending on the culture of origin. Mastery of these nuances will ensure an active and productive intercultural communication. Communication systems nowadays have become complicated. We employ communication technology, and we have reached the ends of the earth through the internet and websites. We can talk to people from different walks of life speaking different languages in many different places, thanks to Google Translate. The close connection between globalization and communication is brought about by the fast transmission of information in real time across distances through modern communication technologies, which transform the world into a small space where people can interact as if they are just within a confined space like a village. Globalization is a structural phenomena that promotes interdependence among various and distant parts of the world, resulting in changes in the economic, cultural, and social processes that shaped the world for the past 50 years. This event is made possible by the development and pervasiveness of digital technologies that resulted in faster communication processes and wide information dissemination. Globalization is based on a network of interconnections, interactions, and interdependencies between remote actors who make it possible and within which causative actions, information, knowledge, and influences are propagated almost instantaneously. The role of ICT made sharing of information and content very fast and easy. The irreversibility of globalization is caused by the permanent revolution of information and communication technologies, and the image flow of the global cultural industry. Related to this is Apadurai's 5 scapes of globalization. Apadurai's scapes theory starts with the idea of global cultural flow. Apadure argues that we used to always see the world in a binary: global north versus global south, east versus west, first world versus third world. Apadure argues, we all influence each other, our cultures intersect and overlap all the time. Zanethli said that, we should try to understand how flows or scapes sweep through the globe, carrying capital, images, people, information, technologies and ideas. The first scape of globalization is ethnoscapes. These are descriptors of global culture. They represent the movement of the people around the world. They are labeled as tourists, immigrants, refugees, exiles, guest workers, and other moving groups and persons that appear to affect the politics of and between nations to a hitherto unprecedented degree. We also have technoscapes. This refers to movements of technologies across borders, the ways technologies help speed up cross-border movements. Examples are handheld devices, the global movement of smartphones, cameras and personal computing devices. Internet is also included here. Technology has helped us to connect across the globe at an unprecedented rate. The third one is financescapes. This represent the rapid movement of money across borders. They are the currency markets. Examples are Visa and MasterCard. Stock exchange. Trades of capital occur in seconds all hours of the day across the global stock exchanges. Credit cards. Most credit cards will work in most countries around the world, making it easier to spend globally. We also have mediascapes, the distribution of the capabilities to produce and disseminate electronic images, signify the mass media technology and images. The widespread use of the internet has meant traditional news media are being challenged by agile new media companies. We also have blogging. Rather than getting information from people can now get their news from anyone with an internet connection and a website. News. People around the world rely on global news outlets like the BBC to get their information. Lastly, we have ideoscapes. This denotes to the images of political and ideological aspects, refers to the ideas, symbols and narratives that have spread around the globe. Much of the second half of the 20th century was consumed by the competing ideas of capitalism and socialism which spread through their spheres of influence. This time, let us have the impact of global communication on the society and the world. Please watch this video entitled The Effect of Globalization on Communication. The link is on the description below. In this lesson, we discussed about the following concepts. Cultural issues affecting communication. Global issues affecting communication. Impact of global communication on society. And impact of global communication in the world. What have you learned? That is end of Unit 2, Lesson 1 to 4. Thank you for watching. After viewing the lesson and watching the video, please answer the following questions in your Google Classroom. How does globalization affect communication among various cultures? In what way we could benefit from the advent of ICTs in improving our understanding of other people all over the globe?